and a very warm welcome. I am Gursheen Galan and you're watching Firstpost. In the next few minutes, I get you the top 40 updates from around the world, only here on Fast and Factual. Let's get started. We begin with the latest on Indian Prime Minister's five-nation tour. After his first stop in Ghana, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is now in Trinidad and Tobago for a two-day visit. Prime Minister Modi was received by the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamala Persad Bissesa. He addressed the Indian diaspora and hailed the ties between the two countries. Prime Minister Modi also presented a replica of the Ayodhya temple and holy water from the river Sarayu. Weeks after the deadly AI-171 crash in Ahmedabad that killed 241 people, families of the victims have made serious allegations against Air India. They claim the airline is pressuring them during the compensation process. According to reports, families were told they may get no compensation if they did not fill out a company questionnaire. They also allege being forced to sign papers declaring financial dependency on the deceased. Air India has denied these allegations. India has thrown its full support behind the Dalai Lama's right to decide on his own reincarnation, rejecting China's growing attempts to control the succession process. Union Minister Kiren Rijiju stated that only the 14th Dalai Lama and the Gaiden Phodrang Trust have the authority to make that decision. Calling the Tibetan spiritual leader the most important institution for Buddhists, Rijiju emphasized that no external party, including China, has any role to play in the matter. Pakistan's military said it had killed 30 militants trying to cross the Afghan border into North Waziristan over the last 3 days. The military claimed the militants were affiliated with the Pakistan and Taliban and its splinter groups. A large cache of weapons and explosives was also recovered. A huge explosion occurred at petrol station in eastern Rome. As per reports, at least 30 people have sustained injuries in the incident, including 8 police officers and 1 firefighter. Huge plume of dark grey smoke was seen billowing over the buildings. As a precautionary measure, the nearby metro station was shut down by authorities after the explosion. US President Donald Trump spoke to his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin. The two leaders discussed Russia's war with Ukraine in a phone call. Trump said the talks did not make any progress in efforts to end the war, while a Vladimir Putin aide said the two leaders held a substantive discussion and that Russia will address the root causes of the conflict. This marked the 6th publicly known Trump-Putin phone call. The U.S. House of Representatives narrowly passed President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill, finalizing its journey through Congress. The legislation makes Trump's 2017 tax cuts permanent and slashes healthcare and safety net spending. It is expected to add $3.4 trillion to the U.S. debt over a decade, with Trump set to sign it into law later today. The United States and Colombia recalled their top diplomats in an escalating diplomatic dispute. The U.S. State Department cited baseless and reprehensible statements by the Colombian government as the reason. In response, Colombian President Gustavo Petro announced the recall of Ambassador Daniel Garcia Peña from Washington, saying he needed to brief officials on the future of the bilateral agenda. Israel has ramped up its deadly bombardment of Gaza just days before expected ceasefire negotiations. Health officials reported around 90 Palestinians were killed, with an estimated 300 killed since the start of the week. Thousands more have been injured in what officials call one of the deadliest escalations in recent days. Russia launched a major overnight drone attack on Kyiv, injuring at least 23 people and damaging railway infrastructure, homes and vehicles across the Ukrainian capital. Kyiv mayor said 12 people were hospitalized while 2 were treated at the scene. The assault caused fires in several districts, including one that set a medical facility ablaze. Ukraine's railway company confirmed widespread damage and delays due to the strikes. This marks one of the latest in a wave of intensified airstrikes on the city of 3 million. Russia has become the first country to officially recognize the Taliban government in Afghanistan. Moscow has officially accepted the credentials of the new Afghan ambassador. The Taliban seized power in August 2021 following the withdrawal of the US-led forces. Until now, no other country had formally recognized the Taliban government. On to climate news now. Wildfires raging across Turkey for the 7th consecutive day have claimed the lives of 2 people in the western province of Izmir. Additional blazes have erupted in the southern resort region of Antalya and forested zones near Istanbul. Around 50,000 people had to be temporarily evacuated earlier this week. A little-known group called Children of Fire, which claims the affiliation with the outlawed Kurdistan Workers' Party and is labelled a terrorist organisation in Turkey, has taken responsibility. California's largest wildfire of the year, named the Marche Fire, has rapidly spread across more than 55 square miles in San Luis Obispo. The blaze, which broke out on Wednesday, triggered evacuation orders and is moving dangerously close to the Carrizo Plain National Monument. Firefighters report only 5% of containment so far. Fueled by intense heat and dry summer winds, the fire is threatening remote grasslands and rural communities. A wildfire broke out near the port town of Rafina, about 30 kilometers east of Athens, disrupting ferry traffic to nearby islands and prompting emergency response. Firefighters and volunteers were seen battling the smoldering aftermath in Pikermi, dousing trees and rubble. Greece experiences frequent summer wildfires, which experts say are becoming more severe due to climate change. The India Meteorological Department has forecast widespread heavy to very heavy rainfall across northwest, central, eastern and coastal India over the next week. East Rajasthan is expected to receive extremely heavy rainfall, while states such as Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Punjab and Haryana will see intense showers. Scattered thunderstorms and gusty winds are predicted in Uttar Pradesh and Jammu, rising the risk of localized flooding. On to business and tech news now. New data showed on Thursday that US job growth was unexpectedly solid last month, driven by growth in non-farm payrolls, while unemployment rate fell to 4.1% from 4.2% in May. But economists warn that the labour market was losing momentum and joblessness could rise later this year. Oil prices held steady earlier today as strong US job data eased rate cut expectations and investors waited for clarity on President Trump's tariff plans. Brent rose just 1% to $68.81 a barrel earlier today, while West Texas Intermediate edged 3 cents to trade at $67.03. Asian share markets struggled earlier today despite record highs on Wall Street overnight as President Trump's trade deadline loomed next week. Hong Kong's Hang Seng dropped 1.3%, South Korea's Kospi fell over 1%, while China and Taiwan posted modest losses. Only Japan's Nikkei managed a 0.3% gain after flipping between gains and losses in early trading. The US cleared GE Aerospace to resume jet engine shipments to China's state-owned COMAC in a move signaling easing trade tensions. The export licenses covered engines for the C919 and C909 jets, part of COMAC's push to rival Airbus and Boeing in global commercial aviation. Washington also lifted export restrictions on US chip design and ethane suppliers to China, suggesting trade talks were back on the track. Boeing said it had secured a $2.8 billion US contract to develop and produce 2 satellites, with options for 2 more. The Evolved Strategic Satellite Communications Program will deliver space-based nuclear command control and communications for the US President and Joint Strategic Global Forces. Boeing is set to deliver the first of 2 space vehicles by 2031. United Airlines and JetBlue urge US regulators to dismiss a complaint by Spirit Airlines against their proposed Blue Sky partnership. The carriers rejected Spirit's claim of reduced competition, saying the deal would keep JetBlue independent and help it compete more effectively. The tie-up would include loyalty program and schedule coordination between United and JetBlue at Newark Airport. France's antitrust agency fined fast fashion giant Shein over $47 million for deceptive business practices after nearly a year-long investigation. Authorities said Shein misled customers on discounts after often raising prices before applying markdowns, and violated French pricing rules on reference prices. The company accepted the fine and said it had corrected the issues last year following a notice from the regulators. Moving on to the rising battle in the EV market. According to consultancy firm AlixPartners, only 15 out of 129 electric vehicle brands in China are expected to survive financially by 2030, amid intense competition and consolidation. These brands could control 75% of the market, with each selling over 1 million vehicles annually. Nvidia briefly hit a market value of $3.92 trillion on Thursday, surpassing Apple's all-time record as Wall Street bet big on artificial intelligence. The stock rose as much as 2.4%, driven by demand for Nvidia's high-end AI chips used in training the most powerful models. Nvidia's value was worth more than all listed companies in the UK. Ilya Sutskever took over the reins of Safe Superintelligence, the artificial intelligence startup he launched last year, after losing CEO Daniel Gross to an intensifying talent war in the industry. The development came as tech giants such as Meta Platforms aggressively chased high-profile acquisitions and offered multi-million-dollar pay packages to attract top talent in the race to lead the next wave of artificial intelligence. On to sports now, and starting with cricket. Hoping to make recovery, England returned to the crease on day 3 of the second test against India in Edgbaston. A dominant India pushed England on the back foot with a terrific show on day 2, with the home team's top order blown away. They were 77 for 3 at the end of day's play. Shubman Gill's mammoth 269 helped India pile up 587 runs as he registered the highest score by an Indian batter in England and the highest score by an Indian skipper anywhere in the world. In Grenada, West Indies bowler blew away the Australian top order, but the lower order contributors helped Pat Cummins' side finish on 286 on day 1 of the second test. A second consecutive century partnership between Alex Carey and Bo Webster lifted the Aussies. Some news from the Wimbledon now. 7-time champion Novak Djokovic beat Dan Evans 6-3, 6-2, 6-0 in their second round match. The Serb displayed a serving masterclass which left his British opponent shaking his head in disbelief at several points. Djokovic stormed into the third round of Wimbledon for a record 19th time, breaking yet another milestone previously held by Roger Federer. Meanwhile, world number 1 Jannik Sinner also cruised into round 3, beating Australia's Alexander Vukic 6-1, 6-1, 6-3. In women's single, Iga Swiatek rallied from a set down to beat American Katy McNally 5-7, 6-2, 6-1 and reached the third round of Wimbledon. While McNally caused an upset for Swiatek in the first set, the 5-time Grand Slam winner steadied the ship quickly and dominated the second and third sets for another morale-boosting victory. The world of chess witnessed India's Gukesh shining again as he defeated world number 1 Magnus Carlsen for the second consecutive time. 19-year-old world champion Gukesh forced Carlsen to throw in the towel in a rapid game at the 2025 Grand Chess Tour in Croatia. Previously, Gukesh beat Carlsen in the classical format at Norway Chess, only this time there was no angry fist smash on the table by the Norwegian. Amid speculation of a move to Mercedes, Red Bull's Max Verstappen said he still wants to achieve the amazing feat by spending his entire Formula One career with the team. The Dutchman's future has been making headlines ahead of this weekend's British Grand Prix after Mercedes driver George Russell said last week that his contract extension was being held up by the Silver Arrows' pursuit of Verstappen. On to football. The United Kingdom's youngest senior 16-year-old forward Chris Atherton joined Chelsea, leaving the Mournview Park. The Northern Ireland under-17 international player made headlines before when he became the youngest senior footballer in the UK at 13 years and 329 days old. And tributes continue to pour in from across the football world for Liverpool and Portugal forward Diogo Jota, who died in a car crash in Spain at the age of 28. Reports say he was on his way back to Liverpool for pre-season training, making the trip by car and ferry because he had undergone a minor surgery and was advised against flying. Fans gathered outside Anfield to lay tributes. Liverpool says Jota's death is a tragedy that transcends the club. Portugal captain Cristiano Ronaldo sent his condolences to Jota's family. The International Olympic Committee issued a strong-worded wake-up call to the Indian Olympic Association or the IOA as an Indian delegation made a formal pitch to host the 2036 Olympics. The IOC flagged governance issues in the Indian Olympic body amid long-standing allegations of mismanagement and corruption within the country's sports body. And Mexican boxer Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has been arrested by U.S. immigration officers and now faces deportation from America. Chavez, a former world champion and son of legendary Mexican fighter Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., was detained in Los Angeles after authorities said they determined that he was in the country illegally. The U.S. Homeland Security also said the 39-year-old has an active arrest warrant in Mexico for his involvement in organized crime and trafficking firearms, ammunition and explosives. And finally, in entertainment news, singer Katy and actor Orlando Bloom have officially confirmed their split after 9 years together. A joint statement revealed that the couple has been shifting their relationship over the past few months to focus on co-parenting their 4.5-year-old daughter Daisy Dove. Though no longer romantically involved, the pair intend to remain united as parents and will continue to be seen together publicly as a family. Pop star Lizzo has revealed the real story behind her physical transformation, shutting down rumors that she relied on Ozempic. In an Instagram post, the 37-year-old credited her visible weight loss to hard work, including training 3 times a week, daily cardio and sauna sessions, a structured diet with animal protein and support from a personal chef. Lizzo also highlighted the role of lymphatic massages and lifestyle changes. Jennifer Lopez previewed new music at an intimate listening party in Los Angeles this week, debuting 6 new songs. It also includes one emotional ballad titled Wreckage of You, widely believed to be about her split from husband Ben Affleck. Attendees said Lopez described the last year as very difficult personally and professionally and shared how the idea for the song came while reflecting on a tough period. Actor Olivia Munn has accused a former newsroom director of attempting to damage her career after on-set clashes. Speaking on a podcast, Munn said she was warned by her manager that a filmmaker had been speaking negatively about her to casting directors, accusing her of being late and difficult. She alleged the director pushed her to act flirtatiously during inappropriate moments and minimized her character's emotional depth. And Michael Madsen had passed away at the age of 67. The actor was found unresponsive in his Malibu home, and early reports suggest cardiac arrest as the cause of his death. Madsen had been working on several independent film projects and was preparing to release a new book. The actor was best known for his roles in Quentin Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs and the Kill Bill series. That's all for today. Thank you for joining us. I am Gushin Garland and we'll see you right back here next week. Until then, stay informed and stay tuned to Firstpost.